Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Spill the Tequila here on the John Rocha channel. I am the titular John Rocha. Very excited to welcome back to the show here to have some fun with us today. He is the king of swag himself, Winston A. Marshall. Winston, how are you, buddy? How are you today?
Titties. I know that's not how you meant it in that regard, but I just heard the word titty in what you said. So, you know, I'm acting like a 5-year-old for a second. I'm the titular. Yeah, the titties. Just spill the tequila.
He said titties.
Titties. No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
How are things?
I'm hanging in there. I was telling you before the show, a little bit of a kind of a crazy day, but that's all right. My main thing right now is just trying to take it day by day and let every day be a step forward from the last.
Okay.
It's been a rough year. You know, I've come in here with COVID. I've dealt with family health issues, which are still like ongoing, job shit. So I'm just trying to make sure that every day I'm a step further than I was before, because it's very easy to stand still.
Yeah, I can understand that for sure. And you want to make sure that you want to make sure you're in a good place to deal with that stuff. Right. And I think that's an important thing as well. You know, right. So yeah, absolutely.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. We're just kind of, I've been a busy day today, full of errands, running all around house stuff, and then recorded a couple hours.
House?
Well, no, we live in a house, but kind of getting stuff for the house because we're getting ready for. Yeah. I know this is crazy to think about, but we're already getting ready for Halloween. So
it's crazy. I mean, it's September.
Yeah, exactly.
Sadly,
nines. Yeah, and so we were looking at that, and then also just running around doing a bunch of stuff, but like just craziness today. And we just celebrated our 7-year anniversary over the weekend, and I know you and Kristen just got through.
I didn't realize that we had you by a year.
Yeah, when I saw your post, I was like, wait, they were together before we were? Damn.
I mean, we did. I hadn't met you yet, so there's that. But right. I for whatever reason, I thought you guys had like known her for. I mean, you have known her for a long time, but you've been together forever and a day. Yeah, which you still have. 6 to 7 years is a long fucking time. 8 years is a long time, and all I'm grateful for those that have been watching my streams and know what's coming down the pipeline here, I'm real grateful that I didn't do it on our anniversary, just because it would have been fully overshadowed by the shit that happened today. And she even said it herself. She was like, yeah, I'm glad you didn't do that already, because damn. She said, I want to be in the same engagement class, but I ain't trying to be outshone right now. So.
Yeah, we are going to get into that. What Winston is referencing is the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce engagement. We will absolutely be talking about that and getting into it here on the show and what it means and people's reaction to it. Seeing the NFL accounts tweeting about the engagement as
NHL, NFL, they all were going, bro.
How much power does this woman have? It's amazing. People are just.
Was it me or was it you?
Going crazy about it. We're going to talk about Street Fighter. We're going to talk might get into that Cracker Barrel logo controversy that's going on here.
So stupid, bro.
We're going to talk about all of that here on the channel. Before we jump into the show, though, I just want to remind you all the Streamlabs and Super Chats are open. Streamlabs address is pinned in the chat. It's in the description of the video as well. And, of course, Super Chats. You guys know what to do to show support for the show. Already 150 of you joining us right off the bat, which we appreciate. Please make sure you follow Winston A. Marshall at all of his socials there at the Swaggy Blurred, but also subscribe to the channel down below as well and hit that like button and leave your comments as we go along the chat. Or if you're watching it later, leave your comments there as you're watching the show. But Winston A., we got to start with a big one here. We got to start, second a big. We're going to save till a little more people come in to get the big one. But this one's been blowing up a little bit here, man. Snoop Dogg, D-O-double-G, fresh off performing for Trump at the inauguration, which feels like 75 years ago at this point, considering everything we've been through since the inauguration. He is apparently criticizing LGBTQ plus representation in children's movies, as he suggests it leads kids to quote ask questions. This arose during a recent podcast during which he recalled one of his grandson's reaction to seeing a family with two mothers while watching Disney and Pixar's movie Lightyear from 2022. One scene in the Toy Story spinoff involves a character saying she has a wife, and the couple is briefly shown kissing and later welcoming a baby son. And this was on the August 20th episode of It's Giving podcast. He recalled his grandson's reaction in a moment that has since been removed from the episode on YouTube, but remains a clip on Instagram. He told the host, Sarah Fontenot, they're like, and she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie was like, Papa Snoop, how does she have a baby with a woman? She's a woman. Oh, shit, I said. I didn't come here for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie. Winston A., this is crazy. I don't understand this nonsense. Snoop has been in the L word. People are unearthing the clip from 20 years ago when he was on the L word, but now he can't explain LGBTQ plus to his nephew. This is madness. What do you think?
So I talked about this yesterday on the Blurred Breakdown, and
you did? Okay, cool.
I did, and I had a multitude of thoughts. I mean, the first being, I find that really sad.
Yeah,
that you can't just simply be like, honestly, grandson, I'm not entirely sure. There's ways that could happen, but all it is you know how like your grandma and I love each other, you know, and we're a couple. We kiss sometimes. That's it. They just because all it was. Yes, there was the allusion to them having a kid, but they kissed. That's the only thing that people are really getting all upset about. You're like, the same way you see your mom and your daddy kissing, the same way that I kiss your grandma, like they do that too. That's just it, that because they're in love. That's it. I don't know the intricacies of how they had the baby. You know how some people get adopted. Maybe they adopted them. Who knows, grandson? Watch the damn movie. Like there's a million ways to gently answer the question and keep it pushing. So that's the first thing that was kind of frustrating about this. But I think the flip side of it is this is not an excuse in any way, shape, or form for Snoop's kind of ignorance on that shit. We need to remember who we're talking about. We're talking about somebody who, as much as we love Uncle Snoop and this whole thing where he's homies with Martha and he's just the unk that just smokes weed and blah blah blah. Homie came from gangster rap. Homie had like a 18, like he had a 187 that he was being tried for at one point. Like just the way he grew up, what he's kind of known for originally in his raps and all that kind of stuff. Let's also not forget this is a dude that decided as of this election to cozy up to Trump as well. So
after bashing Trump, after
bashing him, but then cozying up. So like. He genuinely, again, this is no excuse, but I look at Snoop the same way that we all look at our elders that like, hey man, like at times, like my dad is one of the most progressive people that I've known, but then I've heard him say something kind of misogynistic and it's just from the nature of like his age and all that stuff. And it's not that he couldn't then hear be like, yo dad, this is wrong for this reason or blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But that's just, you're talking about a generational gap type situation. Now, again, I call bullshit and I would expect more, but at the same time, I know who we're talking about. I would feel weirder about this if like AOC said some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody that in my opinion should know better would, but I don't expect, I do expect more from people, but I don't expect more from certain types of people where, again, it's not an excuse, but I plan for this to happen at some point or another. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm at on that. I just think it sucks because the other thing that we have to talk about is we still have to talk about the fact that no matter how progressive we gotten and shit, every community has its ism. That's a fucking problem. And homophobia specifically is a major one in the Black community. It is a problem that is still prevalent like crazy. That's literally why when Black Lives Matter was getting said, there was an addendum being said by folks to say Black trans lives matter because there were Black folk being like, well, I don't do all that. Nah, you mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. And like using that as a means to completely erase Black trans folk. You know what I'm saying? Or the violence that happens against Black trans women left and right. So again, I'm not surprised. I would hope better. I would wish for better, but I know not to expect, which sucks to say, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do 100%. Cause I mean, I there's the same kind of homophobia in the Latino community as well. That's a big thing. Cause macho toxic masculinity. That is a massive part of the Latino community. The word maricon, that's the word you use to insult people in the Latin American community, to essentially imply that they're not real men, they're effeminate men, and it's a way of denigrating men, right? It's like using the F word. And I'm not saying the other F word. I mean the F word that is derogatory towards gay people. It is the Spanish version of that, and so that is deep within the community as well. I think there's a disappointment here because Snoop seemed to be for years on the right side of these progressive issues because, as you said, he came from gangster rap. He fought against censorship. He fought to legalize weed. He made a relationship with Martha Stewart to show that black and white, different generations, woman and man, can come together and break down the stereotypes, break down the walls, and have good conversations and connections. So to have him going this route, and he said that he says, I'm scared to go to the movies now. You've been shot at.
That's a wild statement.
To go to the movies.
That's a wild statement.
That's the thing. He said, "You'll throw me in the middle of that shit that I don't have an answer for," and that to me it makes me feel like, is he moving towards this MAGA mindset? Is this what this nonsense is going to be all about? And it makes me worried because we're seeing more and more people flirt or openly accept the MAGA mindset that we didn't think were necessarily going to go that route. And it's disappointing every single time because the more warriors we lose on the other side to fight back against the stuff that's happening, the more hopeless it can become when you're looking at this kind of stuff. And Snoop, of all people, brother, it just is super surprising.
I to that point, if we see more examples of him truly rocking with Trump like that and all that shit, because part of the whole conversation about him playing at the inauguration, he didn't play for Trump. He apparently played for some other inauguration party that happened to be there. Right. That is not, to me, that's still not giving a pass on that shit.
Yeah.
But it's not lost on me, again, how much he was shit talking Trump in 2016 and 2020 to even consider playing any sort of inauguration, anything. Because even if you weren't playing for Trump, it was for Trump's inauguration day, if that makes sense.
Yes, exactly.
But again, this is a story and a non-story at the same time. It's a story because I hear and I feel for like my LGBTQ homies to hear that kind of shit and to have that shitty ass reminder. But it's a non-story in the sense that we genuinely just need to have a talk in the Black community, in the Latino community about this internalized homophobia that just really won't go away.
But it doesn't help when a guy like Snoop is out here saying this stuff.
Oh, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So it causes a problem because he carries a lot of weight, Snoop. I think he still carries a lot of influence in the Black community.
Agree, because people would have heard that and they were like, I mean, if you actually watch the interview, a lot of that conversation, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I was trying to jump around to find the clip and they clearly cut it out for a reason.
Yeah, it's on Instagram.
Yet they still want to plug it, which is kind of crazy to me. But a lot of the stuff that was being said, and I think that's kind of my point about Snoop and who, like, his age and all that kind of shit. Most of the shit he said, some of it was interesting. Most of it was just old Black man shit. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay.
I don't know.
I'm saying that, again, I guarantee a majority of the people in this audience, whether they be progressive or conservative, they all got an uncle. They all got an auntie that be talking like this one way or the other. If you watch the rest of the interview, all sorts of, nephew, is ain't out here like talking to no bitches no more, man. The women out here, they the ones hitting on everybody. You know what I'm saying, nephew? Like that's a large part of the conversation at one point. Like there is the standard old people thing, which we know screens for kids isn't great. And then man, all my grandkids, nephew, like, they know how to, they don't know how to do their ABCs, but they know how to open that iPad. Like he is just an old man now. And again, let me reiterate, I am not co-signing that, but I am not surprised. That is what I'm saying, is that the only reason this is a minor bit of a non-story, it's not entirely because of the weight that Snoop carries, but the only reason it's somewhat of a minor non-story is you got to remember who you're talking about. It doesn't mean you don't push back. It doesn't mean you don't try and re-educate, but again, this isn't Pete Buttigieg, and then he said something racist, and I'm like, you definitely should fucking know better, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I hear what you're saying within the Black community, and I think that's a very important part of this and component of this. But Snoop, transcends multiple communities. If white, Latino, Asian, globally, Snoop is a known name. So when he says stuff like this, it carries weight because the people who are avid listeners of his music and are homophobic now have like this kind of energy they can push towards and be like, yeah, see, Snoop gets it. Snoop supports the homophobia. Snoop knows this shit is wrong. What do people say? It's because of religion that they're against homosexuality. I'm not going to question people's religious beliefs, but I'm going to say that's a convenient excuse to cover up the fact that you think it's ew or it's an ick thing. And so when you look at that, Snoop is essentially supporting that mindset. And I think it's frustrating to see that. And I get what you're saying, and it's a minor non-story, and that he's an old man and things are going to come out. But he's not like your uncle who's sitting on the couch at the family reunion, because the guy has millions of followers. So there's an effect here. And I also think one other element we should go into on this, Winston, is this also leads to what a lot of anti-woke YouTubers and people have been saying online. Disney shoving the LGBTQ plus agenda down our throats. Now they have a vocal celebrity that they can use as an example of people who are sick of it. And if it's a celebrity that carries weight, I think that's a dangerous thing.
I think what you need to do is you need to anchor on the counter argument. Remember when the movie came out and this was drama in the first place about there being LGBTQ representation in the movie. Chris Evans was like, I'm really excited that it's here. It's crazy that we have to make this a big deal. And I really look forward to the day when we, look back and go, why did we make this such a fucking thing? It doesn't need to be a thing. So I get it. I just think that to that point, the thing that's not helpful, I think you call it out, but I think the thing that's not helpful, the more we allow this stuff to spin up, and especially on a level of, this was a podcast, in my opinion, let me see if I can re-find it. They're growing, but they ain't shit. Like the same way that I love us, but we ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? They've got a moderate amount of numbers. That's a huge interview for them. Yeah. And I give them credit for that. What do you remember what it's called?
Fontenot, the Fontenot, is it something like that? Fontenot?
It's like no. It was this black girl. It's like it's oh my god. Maybe I can just refine.
Oh, what the name of it is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's Giving Podcast.
It's Giving, right? Yeah. Okay. So just to take a look at this
here, I think
they have 25K subscribers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it became a thing because a name like Soup says it, but it's not like this podcast is that far reaching anywhere crazy like that.
Right.
But if you also look at a lot of her, go and look at a lot of her stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Would you choose a man for his money? How a man can tell if she's feminine. Women don't want a man that's God-fearing. So we're also got to talk about, if I'm not mistaken, I see Shaq was on there at one point. Again, not excusing it, but don't give it life. I think in the same way when I think about the Sydney Sweeney thing, it doesn't mean that there isn't a nod to it and you don't maybe call it out, but the more you make it a bigger deal, they're going to use that as a means to twist the knife, if that kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I think a way of just saying Snoop, bro, that's kind of fucked up. It's not that serious, bro. Why don't you just tell your grandson this and call it a day and keep it pushing?
Right.
If this goes beyond a 24-hour news cycle, it then becomes the next culture war thing. And then we're actually breathing fire in, more oxygen into this fire versus trying to put it out and then making corrections in ways that can be actually helpful. Did you hear about what this organization has done in regards to the green dildos that keep happening with the WNBA?
Oh God, so ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, there's an organization that has made a championship ring, like a basketball championship ring, that's actually a finger vibrator. And all the no, hold on. This is specifically because it was a meme coin of a bunch of misogynistic dudes that were like, we were just trying to get attention to the thing, and the only way you can get attention is you got to shake shit up. So it's just something we did that. Realizing how misogynistic and bullshit it was, this organization is run by women. They made this finger vibrator that looks like a championship ring, and the proceeds go to the Angel Reese Foundation that specifically counters cyberbullying. Her foundation is to directly attack. So you took something that's bullshit, you snatched away some of its meaning and you gave it some leverage to go and counter fight that shit.
Right.
Stop trying to fight fire with fire. Start using water. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. If that's the case with this, go blast Chris Evans' interview talking about why are we making, this is an honor to have this in our movie and stuff like that. That's the type of shit. Or have Sue Bird and
Megan Rapinoe.
Have them on the podcast. Yo, Snoop Dogg. Yeah. Come on, man. You really had an issue with that? Like, is it that serious, Snoop? Tell me why it's an issue. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just think we have to get wiser about how we handle this instead of just letting things like this turn into rage bait that is just giving this woman more subscribers and shit.
Yeah.
And so she can keep pushing a lot of the shit that a lot of us don't agree with here.
Well, here's the thing. Why would she have removed it? That's the thing that's frustrating. I'm cool if you say like, okay, she's trying to get attention and all that, but she removed it. So that tells me that this is not the kind of attention that they necessarily want. If they remove
she
that,
still has it up. Like she was promoting
the interview itself, but yes, that part has been edited out. It's only available on Instagram or something. So
no, like she's got like to that point. She cut it out of the interview.
Yes,
to maybe try and baby bit period.
Yeah,
she claims, oh y'all, it was a weird editing thing. It just kind of happened. But she's got. I'm on her YouTube page. She has a YouTube short that about this.
Oh, okay.
Specifically is Disney exposing kids too soon, and then has that sitting here on her YouTube channel. So she's not really trying to hide it.
I'm just so done with this mentality. I really am. This idea of like homosexuality is some kind of motherfucking sin. Like it's just goddamn dumb. It really is. Like, oh, are we exposing kids to men kissing each other? Your husband and your wife kiss each other all the motherfucking time as that child is a baby. So like to me, there's no difference. Love is love. Male, female, gay, straight, whatever the terms are nowadays, I don't give a shit. And the more we are okay with this stuff happening and the more we don't, but I think you make a good point. We have to follow that up with re-education. It can't just be rage. It's got to be counter, right? I mean, to a degree, what Gavin Newsom is doing towards Trump is a fun thing to see and a fun thing to watch, but he's also backing it up with actions. He's backing it up with things that are governing, and that's a good thing, because if he was just going after Trump and doing all that, but he wasn't governing, he also wasn't doing all these other things, I think that would be an issue. But I think what you're saying is a great point to make. Be upset, but then counter it with something positive to counter this whole thing instead of just raging to the moon.
That's all I'm saying. I'm like, because I'm sure you heard about this fucking kid, the MMA fighter's kid, who's also an MMA fighter, and he got in the wrestling ring and he fucking put a wrestler into like intensive care and shit.
It was Rampage Jackson's kid. Yeah,
Rocha Jackson or some shit like that.
Yeah,
that's an example of I'm mad, so I'm gonna take my rage and flip it into more rage. And all that did was make the situation 10 times worse. I am not saying that there aren't reasons to be pissed off about this. I'm not saying that my LGBTQ friends and me, myself as an ally, shouldn't be pissed off that this was said. But it's not like Snoop is pushing for some crazy legislation. If that's what he was doing, that's a reason to get super fucking pissed and to go at his throat. It's an off comment on a podcast. And I say that to say that, again, I'm not downplaying it.
Right.
But don't breathe life into it. I like the one thing that I've learned as more and more of this shit, unless it is something so fucking egregious, like insanely egregious.
Yeah.
Do not give them the time of day, because you're allowing that shit to further balloon. You know what I'm saying? That is all. I am not saying it's not a problem. It is a problem, but I think
that's where the danger lies, though, right? The more you ignore it, it becomes insidious. And that's why we have what we have now. The more we ignored conspiracy theories and thought, MAGA people, they're crazy. The QAnon, those are just a bunch of nuts sitting over there in the corner.
I agree.
Well, we turned a blind eye to it until it was a big fucking movement and overcame everything. And now we have this guy in office doing all kinds of crazy authoritarian shit. And so
I agree.
Find that balance, right?
I agree. But one of the things that happens with a lot of this rage, people don't come up with solutions. They just bitch about the problems.
Right.
So like,
exactly.
That's why I'm saying instead of doing, if it's something that is so bad, the answer, again, if it's not Megan Rapinoe and Super, whoever has, like, of the LGBTQ community that has a large platform, Bring Snoop on and have the conversation.
That's a great point. Reach out.
That's what I mean by use water. Don't use fire where you just go on Twitter and you bitch about it all day. Right. Call it out and go, all right, cool, let's talk about it. Where is this coming from, man? Why is it so hard to just tell your grandson, being like, I don't know, grandson, there's a lot of ways people have kids, but they're married and they're in love. They just gave a kiss. Let it go.
Right. Well, it's also got to be depend on the fact whether he's genuinely asking that question or if he's asking that question from the place of criticism and judgment and derision, right? If he's asking that question, like, I don't know how to have this conversation with my nephew, never mind that, gangster rap, and like, if he researches anything about me, he's got to deal with the fact that there's cases and shootings and thug and all this. I mean, I bring women to the MTV Movie Awards and dog collars and chains. Like, there's a lot of things he's going to have to explain to his nephew more than just the LGBTQ plus stuff. So if he's genuinely asking the question, then I think absolutely what you're saying is correct. Like, I think the gay community should reach out. People with podcasts and large voices should reach out and go, we'd love to have you on and have a conversation because it's an important issue. Because that's the reality. How can we explain this stuff so that we reduce the stigma and new generations come on not having that stigma? I think that's great. But if he's saying it in a way of like criticism of Disney, then there's not really an avenue to explain it to him,
1 second. Hold on.
Yep.
Sorry.
There it is.
All right, let me put it to you this way for any of the sports fans that are here, because I've been playing Final Fantasy 9 again, so I was gonna use that as an example, but let me use sports. It might be easier. Say you're a quarterback and you're reading the defense and you see a cover 2. Yeah. It's like, okay, you're gonna do certain things to make adjustments to the play to try and get through, say, cover 2. If you see a blitz coming, you might be looking for a quick like slant. I don't know stuff well enough. That's why I was always bad at Madden. But my point is, depending on what the defense is showing you, you make the appropriate adjustment. You don't go, they've got 8 in the box, let me run it anyway. The only time that ever works is because you have a Derrick Henry or an Adrian Peterson that can somehow still run through 8 dudes. Right. So my point is this. If we're dealing with the situation where Trump is sending the gazpacho to go and kidnap people off the streets and throw them into countries that they don't even belong in that regard, if you're trying to quote unquote send them home, that's a reason to get fucking pissed, get into the streets, protest, demand things from, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. If someone makes a stupid fucking comment on a podcast, that's a time to then go, all right, cool. This looks like one-on-one coverage here. Let's go ahead and let somebody that can go and have that conversation. I'm just saying that we keep using the same response to every single thing. And the problem with that specifically, I am not saying this is a non-thing, but if you think about the story of the boy who cried wolf, if everything is a 5-alarm fire, nothing is. So that's the only thing that I'm saying, is that there is a way to directly address this and address it in a way that could have some meaningful change to Snoop to even go, you know what, nephew, I never even thought about that though. No, you right. You know what I'm saying? Versus going scorched earth over something that we know every fucking old person, so many old people in so many different communities are thinking the same way. There is just a massive difference in Trump actually doing things to take rights away, like the idea of the Supreme Court actually potentially taking away, marriage equality,
interracial marriage.
Not just interracial marriage, but marriage equality, like obviously, because that's a big thing that the stupid Kentucky bitch is out here again trying to get the Supreme Court to overturn that shit. That's something to go rage out. That's something to like get in the streets and be like, go F you, because now you're like, versus if someone has a thing we don't agree with, that's a time to try and re-educate or to have a conversation that people can see from it and be like, you know what, I didn't think of it that way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, I think about when DaBaby was on stage and he was like, "Oh, that you do all that rah gay shit. I don't fuck with you. Get the fuck." Like, he was on stage saying horrible things. Right. That hits so differently. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just the reason I brought up sports with the coverage, and you could say that's why I was going to bring up Final Fantasy. If I'm fighting against a water-based creature, for those that play Pokemon, I'm gonna use thunder. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm fighting against a grass-based creature, I'm gonna use fire. Like, you need to adjust your move based off of what you're dealing with. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. That's excellent points you bring up there, Winston, for sure. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see but it's all, I think it's always about how genuine are you in wanting to have the conversation. And that comes from the person who makes the offense as well. Do you actually want to have the conversation and learn? Because you're asking this question and you want to have, if they're open to having, I think that's the thing that really is what we're missing is people can misspeak or say offensive things all the time and what have you, but are they open anymore to listening to the other side and have a conversation about it, right? I mean, the whole Gina Carano thing, Disney tried to get her to meet with 45 members of the LGBTQ plus community so they could explain to her. It wasn't about ambushing her and berating her and a public flogging. It was, let's have this conversation so we can help you better understand what we endure all the time. And the frustrating part comes because I'll tell you this, the LGBT community is fucking sick of it. Like they're just,
I don't blame them,
sick of constantly having to be the better person in the room. It's been decades, I'd say centuries of this stuff that they have to endure all the time. And it's like, at what point is enough enough? And you go, like, this kind of shit shouldn't be in our society anymore. And we need to call it out. And yes, I agree with you. Educate, but also be willing to call it out. And
let me reiterate one more time
because it sounds like yeah. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I just want to read it one more time. Yeah. I think what Snoop said is fucking bullshit, right? And I don't fucking like it, and it pisses me off. But I just need for us to be able to win. Like when I think about it in terms of trying to ultimately, quote unquote, win the battle, get to the other side of it.
Yeah,
we need to choose the right tool for the right thing. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I fully disagree with Snoop and what he said there. I hate that he said it on a podcast like that anyway.
Yeah.
But looking at the fact, like there would be, in my opinion, more outrage if he had done this on, say, Joe Rogan, because now you're also, now the platform is being, it's not only that Snoop is there, it's blasted out to how many millions upon millions. I just want to stop breathing life into things. You're making things worse than they are, if that makes sense. Be mad, be disappointed, be like, all right, I ain't listening to Snoop for the next week, or whatever. But like, to me, that's different than Kanye going on a 2-day tirade on Twitter saying Nazi this and Hitler that. You know what I'm saying? The level of severity, everything Riley Gaines goes on and on about is infinitely worse than this one minor. You know what I'm saying? And it's not minor in the sense that it's not offensive, but I just need people to understand what I'm trying to say. That's all.
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Well, let's move on to something a bit more happier for some people, and that is the engagement of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, or maybe I should have said Taylor Swift with Travis Kelce. This happened today. I want to say this, Winston. This has been an interesting reaction from, as I said earlier, from a lot of people and a lot of accounts. Like they're all wishing them the best. I had no idea how many of my friends follow Taylor Swift, and when you sent me that Instagram post of her saying, you know, your English teacher is marrying your gym teacher, or they're getting married, I had no idea how many of my friends follow Taylor Swift. But they shared 5 photos of Swift and Kelce, who are both 35, same age, surrounded by flowers with Travis on one knee. There's no word on when the nuptials will be taking place, but this was already massive reactions from a lot of people. Mahomes, even Donald Trump of all people, congratulated them, even though he talked all kinds of shit about.
No, he didn't.
He did. Bro. He did. He talked all kinds of shit about Taylor Swift, and here he is congratulating her as well on this engagement. Because he won the election. Yeah, I mean, like,
that's because he's tried. You know, he just recently was like, you know, I just want to get to heaven.
Yeah,
you know, he's concerned clearly.
Yeah. he said, I wish them a lot of luck. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person.
Oh, she's a terrific person now.
I wish them a lot of because he won the election. If he lost the election, he wouldn't be
even post-election. He's been talking shit about her. Post-election, be like, she's just not even hot. Like what right here, I'm looking at the Hills reporting on it. The president repeatedly attacked Swift on True Social, saying he hates her and that she is no longer hot. Just in May. And he said in February that Swift was booed right out of the stadium. They cheered for me. They booed for her. Like, you've got to be shitting me, bro.
It is crazy. It is crazy. But the other side of it, dude, is how many of these accounts from the NFL, like these NFL Twitter accounts, X accounts, are congratulating, saying this is the change of the world. This is amazing. this is going to be royal wedding. And I mean, this is madness to me. I had no idea it has this level of reaction, this engagement. I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, it seemed logical that they were going to get married at some point. But hasn't she been married before? Or is this her first time getting married?
No. She's never been engaged, never been married, nothing like that at all. Right. Either for Travis. Like that's the thing. Like she what she does specifically, like I'm gonna be very careful how I phrase this here because I don't mean
might get a shoe across the head. Yeah.
Bro, like just all of a sudden it'll be like the Kool-Aid man came through. Oh no, just right in my we're not doing that. But I mean, just specifically what she has done with her career is she has kind of opened up her life experiences and her feelings and essentially turned her diary into songs that have then genuinely resonated with her fans on a level we have rare to see. You know what I'm saying? The only other person, and that's why she keeps getting brought in the conversation that even comes close to that, in my opinion, is Beyonce in the modern age. And before that, you're talking Michael Jackson, the Beatles, Madonna, Prince, like it rare air, right? So that being said, and I know why this is such a big deal for the Swifties is, I mean, one, it's the idea of, again, as them relating to Taylor as much as they have, the idea of her relationship is similar to my. I dealt with a guy like that. That song talks exactly about how I went through the shit. Exactly, like they see Taylor as their best friend or their sister or even themselves at times. And so even to that point, same thing with the engagement. Holy shit, our girl finally found, we done seen all the frogs and she finally found the prince and now they doing it. Oh my God. And I'm genuinely happy for them because they seem genuinely happy. He seems to really care about her and take care of her and vice versa. So they seem perfect for each other. And I'm excited for them to do that. It's crazy that this announcement blew up the way that it did, but I'm not surprised. I'm genuinely not surprised.
I'm a bit more cynical about Taylor than other people, and it isn't because I think she's what? Yeah, okay. And it's because I don't think she's a bad person, but because especially when you watch that documentary and the way she wanted to stand up for women's rights and push back against the Trump agenda and all these things, and so. But I do think there's a manufacturedness to her at times, and you have to like look at this stuff, the way she announced her album being on the New Heights podcast and all that, like the way that was all, hey, do you know what I have here in the box? You know, these things that you get to a little bit. So how much of this was manufactured? Like, because I can't imagine Travis is like surprising her with the engagement. Do you know what I'm saying? In the photographer,
not with photos that good. There was a photographer there, but. I would counter that with I learned a lot about Taylor and the Swifties. The Swifties actively call her the queen of consumerism because if you think about it, she releases 4 or 5 different versions of her vinyls and all sorts of stuff. Like for as good as she is and does things like being on like for her tour. You know, giving those massive bonuses to workers all throughout, from drivers to all that kind of stuff.
She's a good person for sure. You can't deny that. Yeah,
but she's also a good businesswoman, so I'm not surprised by any of that. And on top of that, think about it this way: if I guarantee most couples have a conversation. Yeah, hey, let's get married, or we should get engaged, and things like that. Right. I guarantee you, this was not this day in particular, but the conversation of if we're going to do this year, we need to do it before the season starts. Her album drops next month.
Yeah,
the season starts, but the season starts for him in 2 weeks.
Right.
So it's equally as much. Travis does not need to be worried about this while he's trying to potentially play his last year of football. If you're going to propose, you don't fucking propose around Thanksgiving because you're worried about beating on the Cowboys and making me look like a jackass. You need to, the season starts next week. He needs to, like, if he was going to propose before the season started, but like during this cycle, it needed to happen now. So I think that was the correct, like how many players do get married? Like Josh Allen got married pretty much right after the Super Bowl. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? And there's a reason for that. You're not doing that in the middle of training camp.
Yeah, but I know, and I hear you. But there's a difference between Haley Steinfeld and Josh Allen. That's a completely different thing than Taylor and Travis in terms of the amount of attention. Like I see Stephanie's like 70s. Oh, what a surprise. Rocha has notes. I know, Stephanie. I know. Okay, I get enough of that from the Outlaw. I don't need you coming in here and telling me that. I get it. But the idea of the photographer being, as someone saying like, oh, the photographers are always there for these. Yes, but it's not your buddy with a fucking iPhone, okay? And it's Taylor Swift. Her security team is going to vet everybody around them. So
also true. This
is her reaction to it all. I don't think is authentic in any way, shape, or form.
Whose reaction to what?
Taylor's reaction to the ink, because I think he already, like, they cleared everything, for God's sakes. They picked the space, they cleared, like, come on. And so to me, it wasn't.
No. I pushed back because his security now is her security. So again, if he was truly surprising, he could have cleared all of this. He could have been, baby, we're going for a hike. And it's like, oh, okay. And what's to say that because remember, this is then my insider knowledge now of being a Swiftie adjacent.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew when they first started dating, they were like 6 months in. Travis bought a new house in a much higher security gated community because she kept having stalkers and fans, like whatever. He did that intentionally to protect her so that people couldn't get to her. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So I truly believe that Travis planned this more than well enough. Maybe he had his team do it. It doesn't matter. But the point is that this all seems very legit to me. I'm not pressed about any of that. Okay. I still stand by the fact that homie goes, baby, you know I work essentially 9 months a year. Yeah. Work starts for me officially in 2 weeks. Yeah. So if I'm gonna propose, expect it sometime between the beginning and end of August. Yes, and there you go. And that's fine. Okay. Real Fair talk. What Mrs. Blurred, Mrs. Swag, I don't know what I'm supposed to call her. There's her own thing. She knows it's coming within the next couple of weeks. She doesn't know. She doesn't have details about anything that's happening. She doesn't know any of the details about when to expect it or not. If anything, I was kind of messing with her that maybe I'd propose on the anniversary, but I didn't. And all of that is to say, because most couples that are serious about marriage, they talk about the idea of we're going to get engaged soon. We're going to get married around this time. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's that nefarious.
I'm going to throw another cynical element of this, which I did not know about, but someone else brought this up on Twitter and I thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
Joe Alwyn, her ex-boyfriend, she was with for a while.
Yeah.
His new movie trailer dropped today, Hamnet. And so people are like, Taylor is crushing him even more by dropping this on this day to bury his new trailer dropping. Not that trailer was going to necessarily blow up the internet. Chloe Zhao is the director. It's Hamnet with Paul Mescal and Jesse Buckley.
Right.
But Joe is clearly in the trailer, and it is he's a star in the movie. So some people were pointing out how she picked this day on purpose. So there's still that little, the little thing, if it's true, which I really doubt it. So
baby, now we got bad blood, and it used to be really mad love. Yes. You did a really deep cut. So baby, now we got bad blood. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't have a problem with petty. I genuinely don't. How many other celebrities? Beyonce do something petty. People laugh all the way to the bank. We laugh about 50 Cent being the pettiest motherfucker on the planet, out here just putting out ads and all sorts of shit. True. Like I don't think you have it here, but the clip of 50 Cent talking to Floyd Mayweather. Hey Floyd, if you could read one chapter of a Harry Potter book, I'll donate $75,000 to any donation you want. Like, petty is hilarious. Yes. So if that's what she's doing, good for her. Because that dude sucks. He said a bunch of really racist shit. So if anything, thank you, Taylor, for being an ally against racism. Talk to your girl CC. Your girl CC don't be cutting out no goddamn racism. Okay, she just be like, I'm just trying to ball. I'm just trying to ball. I'm just trying to ball. I just want to ball. Why don't you get healthy, girl? You played 13 games. The fact that now you're gonna give me on a Caitlin Clark rant. Somebody tried to, one of her fans actually tried to be like, hey man, she should be MVP. She played 13 games. MVP of what? The bench? Get out my face.
Who said that? No one with a right
there was a thing going around. Should it be Asia Wilson, Alyssa Thompson, Nafisa Collier, and I can't remember who the fourth front runner is.
Yeah.
And obviously the answer is either Asia or Nafisa. Nafisa had it, she's run away with it until she went on like a 7-game offer of fucked up ankle.
Yeah.
And now Asia's played more games and is damn near has virtually the same numbers. So it's kind of like, damn, girl, I really hope you don't like you're gonna need like 2 50-point games to close out the season to try and stop Asia from taking your title.
I just want to clarify for Winston. Joe Alwyn was not the one who said the racist stuff. That was the lead singer of the 1975, who she dated after Joe Alwyn.
I can't keep track of this.
Well, I keep tracking. It's sad that I keep track. It's
Which one is Joe Alwyn? Which one is that guy?
Which one? Which one?
Yeah, which one is that?
Yeah, exactly. Joe Alwyn was the British guy that she was with, who was the actor. They lived together.
Oh, for years and years and years and years.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that was the asshole that was like, you know what? I can't even do this. Okay, you're the most famous woman in the world. I can't even do this.
Taylor's point of view, yes. If you believe Taylor's story, because speaking of every Taylor story, she's the victim.
And not Aaliyah Boston. I meant Alyssa Thomas.
One, come on.
I didn't mean Aaliyah Boston. I meant Alyssa Thomas. I mixed up their names. So specifically, I saw someone say, "You mean Aaliyah Boston?" I said, "No, I meant Alyssa Thompson." Thomas. Jesus Christ.
It's all right. You're going on a rant.
I'm on one right now, bro. I'm fucking on one. Too much caffeine today.
Cynicism aside, of course, you wish people well. I love Travis as a player, so I may not like the Chiefs, Sean Brennan, who's in the chat right now, but I do like Travis, and so I do wish them well. But, there's a healthy amount of skepticism for me for any super famous person. I think a lot of that stuff is staged and choreographed, and the people involved with them understand that's the element of it all. But people treating this like this is some, fantasy thing that just happened out of the blue. I was like, let's calm it down. And people calling this a royal wedding. Dude, I'm going to need people to calm that down.
I'm going to need people to chill on that. I'm going to need people to that like, look, I'm happy for her and I'm happy for Travis, but that would imply, I know that there are a lot of Swifties out there. That would imply that then the vast majority of the country feels the way about her, the way that people feel about the royal family. And that's just not in England. Now, there's a lot of people in England that hate the royal family, but as a whole, it's just kind of accepted as part of their culture.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. This is going to be a massive wedding. I will not take that away from that. It will be a massive wedding, but nah, I don't. I disagree with that statement. I think that's some hyperbole there.
Which will be the bigger wedding? Kim Kardashian marrying what's his face from the NBA, or Taylor Swift marrying?
That's because you want to talk about plotting. That's because Kim, specifically Chris, was very good at getting that to be a sponsored ass muffin. Yeah. Now, don't get it twisted. Taylor's probably not gonna go seek that shit out, but I would not be surprised if every brand be like, "Yo, Taylor, Vera Wang, girl, we got the dress, we got the bridesmaids, we got all the guests. We do it because it's you, girl. Hey, Coca-Cola, let Coke be your soda and your wedding, girl. We got the brand new raw sugar and shit. Like, look, go get your Jerry Jones money. You know what we didn't talk about is the Cowboys documentary, man.
Oh yeah. Do you want to swing into that one? Are we done with this?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So we wish them the best. We hope they do. We hope they have a wonderful marriage. Certainly Taylor's had a lot of heartbreak, if you believe her point of view in every single one of these relationships. So this will be good for her to hopefully, because they seem really happy. I mean, I watched them on that New Heights clip, and which blew up and is a massive, like it broke a Guinness Book World Record or whatever, which is amazing. So they seem genuinely happy. So more power.
Royal wedding, they would never date. Royal wedding would be if like Tom Brady or LeBron James married Taylor Swift, because then you're talking about a level of just fame. Not that Travis isn't famous,
right?
But, I'm not wrong. Travis Kelce is not the most famous athlete on the planet. See, now I'm getting yelled at through the door. You see what you did, Rocha? You see what you fucking did? This is your fault. This is your damn fault.
Let me do my Taylor Swift. Who, me? I won? Here's going to drive to my house and kill me.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Oh, my God. Anyway. All right, so let's move on to the NFL. As Winston was alluding to, you all know I am a massive Washington Commanders fan in every iteration, from the Skins to the football team to the Commanders. And there is no team I hate more on the planet Earth than the Dallas Cowboys. But I have watched 6 episodes of this.
You didn't finish yet.
I did not finish it because, dude, it's an hour long.
Oh, no. I know.
It's a lot.
I was just going to start it last week, and somehow I powered through it, like in the middle of doing this play and everything. I finished last night, bro. This might be in the Mount Rushmore of sports documentaries.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think Last Dance is still the best.
Well, I said on the Mount Rushmore. I didn't say it was the GOAT. I said it's Mount Rushmore. I think you got Last Dance, Made in America, this, and
Made in America. Yeah.
Personally, I'm really partial to Broke, because I just thought it was very interesting. But I'm sure there's another sports documentary that can cap that. But to me, those are the 3. It's this, it's Made in America and it's The Last Dance. It was so thoroughly done. It really got at the core of it. Even if you hate the Cowboys, I guarantee you're feeling emotional about this. Even if you're furious with Jerry Jones, all of a sudden you're like, why do I feel for this asshole? And I know that's what a documentary is supposed to do. You pick a point of view and you present it. But like, it just did a very good job of to give us the context of what the 90s were and what the Cowboys meant and why the whole thing about America's team. Because there's even a joke in the last episode where they're talking about the downfall, where they're just like, there are people in college that are like, why are Cowboys named the America's team? Why, like, was it such a big deal? Who cares about the triplets? Why is Troy Aikman so covered? Who cares about that? It really does a good job to frame this up so well, man.
Yeah, it really. I was surprised, as I said, as someone who hates this team, I was surprised how much I enjoyed the documentary. The way it was shot, the way it was edited, the amount of old footage made me miss the 90s NFL all over again. To me, because to me, that's the golden age. That's the peak decade of the NFL, in my opinion. I love 90s NFL.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing all that happened there, and also seeing how close it came to not happening. How many things had to fall into place for this team to become, in essence, a dynasty in the 90s and to do what it did, and then what it led to, still the shocking breakup between Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson and the Switzer stuff and Aikman. And so it kind of opened the door to reappreciating Troy and Emmett. I always knew Michael's hard to avoid, Michael Irvin, but Troy and Emmett, it was great to reappreciate them because I always liked them, even though I hated they played for the Cowboys.
You didn't like Michael Irvin, though?
Oh, hell fucking no.
Why?
I hated Irvin like so much. I just didn't like the fact that he was so into.
What did you say?
He was so good. He was just so good, and he let you know it. It drove me insane. That being said, if Michael played for my team, I'd have loved
you would have
loved
that shit. And that's the only thing that I need. Anybody that says some shit like that, I'm like, check yourself, because I need to see the same energy the minute you get one of those. The minute you get somebody that be talking like that, you better keep the same. I hate that shit. Why are you talking? Nah, bro.
No, he was so good, and he knew it, and that drives you crazy when you're not a fan.
Only person to talk more shit was Prime Time, bro.
Yeah, and I hated Dion. I hated Dion too for a long time.
Even though you got him too, you got a Prime Time, bro.
Prime Time. He should have sent back all our salary. He played like crap that year. He should have donated salary back to the team.
Dude, that's funny. But it is for me. I think I ended up getting pretty emotional at the end, and I think the reason why, as a Cowboys fan, the one thing that I can give context to myself, I was born in '87, y'all. So in the middle of this happening, I am genuinely a child.
Yeah,
and my parents are not into sports like that, so I really am not paying that kind of attention. I just knew that like the Cowboys were big. You would see it all over the city and things like that. I remember that the week of the Super Bowl at school being all sorts of posters and shit and all sorts of decorations all over the school and all that kind of stuff. But I was too young to process what this was because I didn't have anybody bringing me into that fold like that. But that just goes to show how they still affected the town. So to see it, and to be sad to be like, man, I genuinely missed it. Like, sure, I got some Michael Jackson when I was, in the 90s there before things kind of went off the deep end, but I wasn't alive during Thriller Jackson.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't alive during peak Beatles. Right. So like even though they're around and I hear stories, I don't get it. This gave me the opportunity to finally understand something that's been near and dear to me. And like the only thing in the documentary that I got, my parents took me to 2 games that I'll never forget because they actually are friends with Emmitt Smith. One was a game. Now, best thing you get us was nosebleeds both time. We're, it is what it is. They're not best friends, but they are homies.
Yeah.
One was the game that Emmitt got the record.
Yeah.
And one was the game when he came back to Dallas for the first time. And they talk about it in that last episode about like, it didn't make sense. Like I was back there but now I'm in the wrong jersey. I went to the long locker room and I'm like, wait, was I up there? Was I in one of those seats? I remember that. Like it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
It's a highly recommended. It really, even whether you hate or love the Cowboys, it's a great doc in terms of showing you how a football team like this came together in the way it does. And it's almost like watching the construction of a movie, a documentary on the construction of a great movie, because you really see how many pieces needed to work, the timing of everything, what needed to fall into place, what needed to happen, how many things had to be sacrificed, including some people's jobs, some of the old guard, those things for it to come about, and then how to maintain that through everybody gunning for you and wanting you to fail. So there's so much to enjoy and I got to finish the last 2 episodes, but there's so much to enjoy in this documentary, that series, that I thought was surprising for me to be engrossed in it.
The part that got me truly emotional, though, as much as I was brimming with pride about the stuff that went down and being like, damn, that's how the downfall kind of happened.
Yeah.
The part like in the middle, when you start to see Jimmy and Jerry go at each other, you just go, ooh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The last episode is both Jimmy and Jerry acknowledging they were 2 stubborn dudes and they threw out their best friend. And this idea of trying to bury the hatchet. And it got me emotional because I think about moments where someone that I've been really close to, a giant riff happens and this anger just stays there. And it's like, well, they did this and you never let that shit go. And the idea of life is too short.
Yeah.
If it's not a point of like you murdered somebody in their family or you stole their wife, you know what I'm saying? You gotta find a way to bury that hatchet. Life is too short to be that angry at people over stupid shit.
It's true. It takes time and it takes being away from the thing that sparked the battle and getting older. And that's when you start to be like, look, man, I've made my mistakes and so you're more open to finding middle ground and common ground. And hopefully you've done some work on yourself so you can speak with emotional logic about stuff like that. And so I'm looking forward to that episode. If I didn't know they have a conversation about their stuff. So
dude, it was a tearjerker because you watch these 2 men sit on 30 years of regret. Oof. And let that just come out. And they both times were like, can we stop and start again? Like it was hard but touching to watch. Because I think the main thing we talked about at the start of this, about this idea of how do you reach people? How do we find a way to put out all these fires that are popping up everywhere?
Yeah.
At some point, you don't want to wait until it's almost over. Yes. To do that. We gotta hope that we can find a way to just go back to trying to love each other as best we can, man. And it doesn't help when people are constantly causing more and more bullshit to rile up.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting to see. So I recommend it highly.
Yeah. You've got to be careful, especially in even in our business. Sometimes fans try to misrepresent things you say to the other person, and it causes rifts, it causes problems, it causes issues, and then they try to misrepresent it to you. And then if you don't do your due diligence, it can cause problems and rifts. So even in a small way, and in a macro way. So
the big takeaway, because I always was like, as people tend to do, you pick a side. I was like, man, this is all your fault. You did this to Jimmy. They both had a major hand in it.
Yes, I agree.
A major hand in it for sure. Like Jimmy really hurt Jerry.
Right.
But at the same time, it always comes down to who has the power.
Yep.
And so in the same way that like a child could really hurt a parent, I'm not saying they're parent and child, but a parent is my parent. You know what I'm saying? So if they go too far, that's infinitely worse than the kid going too far.
Yeah.
So it's kind of in this case, you were the boss. You were the owner. The way you decided to deal with supposedly this guy that was your best friend, you get more of the blame because of the power dynamic,
Yeah. I think Jimmy, if you remember the old Frank Miller graphic novel Ronin, Jimmy is like that thing that keeps growing every page. It's becoming so big that Jerry eventually had to stop it because Jimmy was going to consume the ownership. And that can't happen when you're the owner of a team, and especially someone proud like Jerry Jones is not going to allow that to happen. And so what had to happen happened, which is that both the egos got too big, and one needed to go someplace where they could keep growing, and the other one needed to find someone who wouldn't do that again.
I agree.
So
but the problem with that is, how when you have a bad breakup, so you go for the polar opposite. The problem is Jerry went for the polar opposite for too goddamn long.
Yeah.
And you ultimately neutered yourself for the ability to get the right stuff. Like that hurt still being there has prevented him from getting the key pieces to get there.
It's true. You could say the trauma of it all. And that's another thing that stood out. I know we should wrap up this conversation, but that's another thing that stood out to me is like Jerry's got some untreated mental health issues. And that was when I was watching, I was like, his wife was afraid he was going to do something to himself. Jerry even says, I was thinking, about maybe doing something to myself. And you're just like, so he's got that impulse in him. And so he's got these self-destructive impulses within him as a human being. And so there's just some things there that you're like, oh man, if I was a mental health professional, I might be reaching out to Jerry to see if he wanted to confront this stuff and get past it. Because as you said, that may be what's affecting him not wanting to bring a coach in that's going to come close to Jimmy. So, all right, let's move on. Two more things real quick, Wiz, and we'll get some questions. We'll get on out of here. Your thoughts on these first picture set photos from Street Fighter? I think that's are the legs okay? Are we getting close to?
No, it doesn't look like it from that angle. Not from that angle, it don't. From that angle, I am still concerned. She is a thick, again, Chun-Li is the thick thighs save lives spokeswoman. Period. Like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll make the argument. I know people always be like, "Why we always gotta like make black people play white characters?" Blah blah blah. I would make the argument that thick thighs individual should be upset about the skinny thigh washing that's happening right now, bro. The Ozempifying that's happening of Chun-Li. Hell no.
But I mean, Noah Centennial looks good. He looks in incredible shape. These guys are I would love to be 20 again and try to get into this kind of shape. Look at these guys. They look fantastic.
I wish I could be that jacked. So what? So Vega on the left. Who's playing Vega?
Oh, damn! I forget the guy's name. I'll look it up. But go ahead, keep going. Yeah.
And then who's that on the right?
Noah Centennial. Yeah.
Where is he a wrestler?
No, he's an actor. Noah was in Black Adam. He was the dude that got big and then would get small on that guy. If you've only seen it once though.
I've only seen it the one time. I was like, I don't ever need to come back to this. He's playing
Ken Masters. He's playing Ken Masters.
Okay. All right. I mean, Ken is Jack now. Let's just see how his actual march. I got to see how his Shoryuken looks like, bro.
Yeah, that's Orville Peck, who is the country music singer, the gay country music singer. He is playing Vega, and then that's, of course, as we said, Kalina Liang is playing Chun-Li. But I agree with you. It's not thick enough. It's not thick enough. So I wonder how they're going to do this.
Like, I'm not even trying to be that dude, but I'm just like, icon. You know what I'm saying? Icon. Like, I don't need nobody trying to play Beyonce in the biopic, which she would come back from the dead and play it her damn self. I don't need nobody playing Beyonce in the biopic if your ass can't sing and you can't dance.
That's true.
Don't be like, we're going to throw in some of the hell no. You bring it.
Oh, yeah, Karen, you're right. That's Noah played Adam Smasher in Black Adam. He okay.
Got it. I know what you're talking about now.
All right, well, and let's move into real quick. Winston, what are your thoughts on this? It's massive news. Cracker Barrel changed their logo this week, and the right, who is so good at calling the liberals snowflakes and saying they freak out about Sydney Sweeney and the American Eagle, well, looks like these right-wingers went snowflake themselves and went crazy about the Cracker Barrel logo. This caused them legitimate financial losses for Cracker Barrel. Crazy. And then today, just as we went on the air, they announced literally like an hour ago that they are going back to the old logo. But
that's fucking crazy.
That's so
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, because like that's the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, one, I found my favorite joke of it was some black Twitter. Someone was going, look, they just took the crack out the Cracker Barrel. Like, I thought that was hilarious. But it's like, in any way, shape, or form, did they say some shit about like, correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
Did they say anything about like, we're doing this because, DEI, or we want to be inclusive? Did they say anything about like, this is a racist logo, so we're changing? No, they just did. They modernized it. Now it may look stupid. I don't like it is very like sanitized.
Yeah.
So if that's the complaint people want to go with, but to be like, this is because of the woke agenda.
Yeah.
How, Sway? We don't give a fuck about your ghetto ass little Cracker Barrel. I used to like going there. We went on road trips until I got one of the times on a road trip, I got called the N-word as a child. I said, I don't need to come back here.
Yeah.
I'm good. Not from anybody in the restaurant. It was outside the restaurant. I overheard an old man talking about, so niggas go here now all of a sudden. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't need to come back here. That's fine. Like, it's not that good. It's mid at best. But like, I don't understand. Are you kidding me? It was woke to change the logo.
That's what they were saying. And then they put up the picture of the old white dude who did it. And then, of course, it was a woman who was a graphic designer who designed the new logo, which is very much in keeping with what the new logos are now, which are minimalist. And so they thought this was the better way to go about it, because basically it invites everyone to come to the restaurant. It's a smart move by removing the old white man who's laying against the thing. And you're trying to update its image that, as you said or alluded to, even though it was only in the parking lot, a lot of people think of Cracker Barrel as kind of a, a white Southern, possibly a racist adjacent type of a place to go in this. And I grew up in the South in Virginia. Cracker Barrels were everywhere around in the South. And I know pecan log is one of my favorite things to get at the Cracker Barrel, but like, I didn't go in there all the time, but I understand what it's supposed to symbolize. And so I think people just took that as a way of like erasure. The right loves to complain that the left's the one that loses their minds about everything. But, if you take away a white man from something, the right loses their goddamn minds. And clearly this was a thing. And listen, the shares of the company nosedived more than 12% after the announcement. That's a massive loss.
Crazy, bro.
Trump weighed in on it this morning and said it needs to go back to its old logo. And then within 9 hours, it went back to its old logo. So
I just
remember
this idea that we are making bigger deal out of things that need to be made a big deal. You know what's a bigger deal? That for the last 5-7 years, instead of being able to just buy fucking Photoshop for $200, you got to shell out $70 for that fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Every month.
Yeah.
And this idea that like everything is a subscription now. Do you know that new printers, don't let your printer break, John. New printers, you have to get a subscription for them to print.
What?
Not every single one, but a large number of them for them to even print, for them to have their full functionality. You gotta unfortunately pay a subscription. These are the things to start fights about. These are the things to say, burn it all down and say, not that there's a woke agenda, but there is a capitalistic corporate agenda that's trying to rob us all blind. That's the shit to get mad about.
Yeah.
If Cracker Barrel has said, we raising the biscuits and gravy from $15 to $40, that's a reason to say, fuck y'all. But because they took the little dude off it, is it an ugly new logo? Yeah, it was ugly. But why y'all acting like somebody just called your mama a cracker? Like, what are we doing? Like,
exactly. Yeah. It's just crazy. People are just, it's madness to me in America. With one side of the mouth, they're going, everyone is struggling to pay bills and we're working harder than ever and everything costs too much. But people seem to have extra free time to go off about this kind of stuff, which used to kind of not be an issue in our country. But now everything is a war. Everything is a battle. As you said, everything gets met with that kind of energy. You're right.
That was my only point at the start. And it's not to say that these are not comparative, because that actually was an offensive thing that was said at the top. But that's what I mean. Yeah. We have got to be able to assess a situation and either go, that's stupid, I don't care, it's not that big of a deal, this is kind of a big deal, this is a fucking travesty. We need to be able to tell the difference. And that's crazy that this drummed up so much energy.
No, I know. It's crazy. I guess Stephanie tries to explain to us why. Stephanie says Cracker Barrel biscuits are fire, though. So there you go.
Hey, somebody in the comments just said right now, Cracker Barrel quickly abandoned phase 2. Plans to just be CB.
CB.
Where you go? I'm going to CB.
with the old white man logo. This is the thing to be upset about. Maybe get upset, angry at the servers there don't earn a livable wage. I
agree with that. You know what I really would have hoped, that phase 2 or phase 3 of this logo was actually a black dude with a do-rag, like dribbling a basketball shit. Like, that shit would have been hilarious. No. Stage 3 was Smoke and Stack. Like they now own fucking Cracker Barrel, and then you just got a whole bunch of dead crackers out in front of Cracker Barrel. We'll kill your ass, Cracker. Now come get these biscuits. Like, that would have been hilarious.
Would have been Cracker Barrel. Just oh man, it'd been perfect. All right, let's get into these questions as we're wrapping up the show here, because I know we got time constraints. Dennis Hoffman, John, much loved. Also, kind of F Snoop Dogg. Normalize these combos with your kids. Some kids got 2 moms. Some kids got 2 beds. Right. By the way, It's true. By the way, you fellas reading these absolute comics, loving them. Bats, Wonder Woman
and Martian Manhunter. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read these. Are you reading them at all?
I'm very behind, but yes, they are fantastic, man.
That's
absolutely
cool.
Fantastic.
Matt Maker Studio. Thank you, Dennis. I will put that on the list. Matt Maker Studio. Winston, you said last show you like mezcal. What is your favorite mezcal? I have a collection of 22 bottles so far.
God damn,
that's not driving.
Nah, he's collecting them like you would scotch, man. I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite. I have a picture here of one that I really enjoy. I think it's Nuestra Soledad.
Okay.
Let me do a screen share. Hold on.
Nuestra Soledad.
Uh-oh. This one is very good, but like it's is it sharing it? There we go.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, this one is very good. I meant to share here. You can see it better here.
There you go.
Yeah, no, it's very, very good. But I don't necessarily know if there's one that like full on stands out to me.
Okay.
Because I tend to be above all else a Scotch guy,
right.
A Scotch and a bourbon. But once someone told me there was a Scotch equivalent of tequila, I was like, oh, I fucks with mezcal heavy because I just like smoky. I love smoky flavor.
There you go. I love smoky eye. I am Two Fly Cams has never liked Snoop scrawny butt, been smoking too much. Oh, there you go. Two Fly Cam. You said that. I didn't. He's still.
Someone makes a good point in the comments. It's actually a funny idea. So what happens? So it's not Lightyear. Let's say it's the school play.
Oh, yeah.
And literally, you got a lesbian couple there to see their kid.
Yeah.
What you gonna do, Snoop? Oh, I can't even let my grandson be in the play, nephew, because how am I supposed to explain how that one kid in the class got two mamas? Like it was a stupid comment. I guess that's the part that I'm getting at. It was just really stupid. And it doesn't mean you don't go, but like easy count. So what did you do? What would you do in that instance, Snoop? What would you say to your grandson then?
Also, I refuse to believe that that gay people have never come to Snoop Dogg's house while his grandson was there. I refuse to believe there weren't any kind of I just think it's weird, just weird. Jason Ashcroft, in my opinion, all you can do is stick to your values, what you believe, while being willing to listen. You cannot convince people to change their views if they feel they are being attacked. It's true. You can't force change. It has to come naturally. I don't have the answer, but what I do know is you have to be willing to view each other as human. A Republican isn't evil because they are one. Neither is a Democrat. We all could do a better job. Listen, I agree with that. I don't just assume someone who's a Republican is evil. I don't.
No.
I think someone who's spouting MAGA ideology, I do have questions about their morality and their ethics and their principles for sure. But that doesn't mean every Republican is MAGA, because that's very clear that it's not. So
no. I think like most things in life, I have gotten to the place that if you're proudly touting MAGA, then I think of you in a very particular light. And it's gotten to that point because it has made its flag.
Yeah.
The idea of fuck you, it's my way or the highway. We're doing it this way. And in ways that are very exclusive to people that are not straight and white.
Yep.
And they pretend like they accept others, but they really don't. Because how many times have you've seen that video of someone be like, I'm full MAGA, I don't care, like a black person doing that, and then all of a sudden, yo, I went to the rally and they called me all sorts of N-word, told me to get out. I'm like, okay, so did you not understand that fat meat was greasy? What the fuck are you talking about? So like it's one of those things where like if you're just telling me as far as like ideology, it's one thing if somebody was like, I tend to have conservative views, but I think all of this shit that's being said X, Y, and Z is actually mad offensive, and like that's completely different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The problem is too many people that I've seen on the conservative side of things are willing to let this happen.
Yes.
That is where it ends up being a problem. Is that you're willing to let a lot of this bullshit happen in the name of winning for your team to win. And that's not okay.
Right.
So it's hard for me to listen to you if you're willing to let somebody whoop my ass while I'm supposed to be listening to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's really, if I'm in the middle, if there's a reason why most of the conversations during the fights in Infinity War, they're not long conversations. It's in Endgame. No. You take the big one. You take the little one. That's about it. It's, do you see the van? It's not full blown. Let me have a philosophical motherfucker. There's an army here.
So true.
So anyway.
Rican243 says, hey, John and Winston, you guys hear about Raja? Yeah, we talked about it earlier. The Rampage Jackson's son and getting involved in that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was crazy.
Also, I see somebody saying that's real life, not some kids movie where it's intentionally being inserted unnecessarily. Okay. Is that not a reflection of real life that there again are two people, two women or two men that may have been like, listen to what you're saying. Arts, movies, music, it's supposed to reflect real life.
Yeah, exactly.
And it wasn't like they threw it in all of a sudden they were at a pride parade and they were like having gay sex on the screen. It was literally, this is my wife, small kiss, move on. So come on, miss me with that shit.
It was real life in the movie. It's real life that you're going to the movies, and it's real life that you're going to be exposed to things in the movies. Welcome to real life.
And that's unreal. Raja needs to go to jail.
Yeah, I agree.
Different conversation. But Robin,
Chris Corcoran says, thoughts on Trump's health with the bruised hands and swollen ankles. He's not looking good. How much success do you think Vance will have with MAGA? Listen, I know people are saying all this stuff. This guy has found a way to cheat at everything and survive for years, decades. So I personally don't think that he's on the way out in any way, shape, or form. But I know a lot of people are speculating that he has like 6 months to a year, but I have no idea. Winston, what are your thoughts?
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
Good answer. Good answer. Doug says NFL's next week. Who's a better Sunday night for NFL performer, Faith Hill or Carrie Underwood? Oh, I'll take Faith Hill in a minute.
Faith Hill.
Yeah, I don't rock with that Carrie Underwood stuff. Faith Hill can never mind. It's my pick. ES13 are the Chiefs becoming bigger villains than the Pats were during their dynasty run?
No, because I'll tell you this much. Like, what's up? I know Sean Brennan's in here.
Andy Reid is likable. Patrick Mahomes is likable. Kelce is likable. Like, no one liked the Patriots, man, except the Patriots fans.
You had the fact that like Boston fans in general tend to be so antagonistic.
It's true.
It reads differently. Can Chiefs fans be annoying? Sure, but so can Warriors fans. So can, any team that's on a roll can be annoying. Yeah. But there's a next level of like, I don't like those fans because they suck.
But they take pride in being annoying. That's the difference with the Patriots fans. Yeah,
but Boston folk joke about being massholes. They literally find that an endearing nickname. You know what I'm saying? So like that's one of the reasons why I always say all the time, I'm like, Roxy's one of the few Boston sports fans that I can rock with because she's like, oh, I know we're dicks. And I'm proud of what our teams do. I don't always agree with the way people be acting with stuff, but like, because the other part about it too, I have never personally seen. And if I'm off base here and I'm missing something, let me know. I haven't seen direct racism out of like the fan base or organization. I've had some questionable shit about some players on the team, but that's going to happen on every team at one point or another.
Yeah.
Whereas Boston has been known to have people with signs calling their own players the N-word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it hits different for me personally.
Bill Russell moved out of Boston because of all the racial stuff that happened while he was winning titles. Yep. Sean Brennan says, any thoughts on the upcoming NFL season? Maybe a Super Bowl prediction.
Yes, I need to pull up the teams because for whatever reason, my brain. I think the Bills finally get over the hump. I actually think that they're going to come out of the AFC.
Maybe Bills Packers. That's
you don't think so?
Bills Packers. That's what I think.
Okay, I think probably no. I don't believe in the Packers.
Okay.
I think we're probably looking at. It's going to be weird in the NFC. There was a lot of shakeup.
Yes.
JJ's finally starting in Minnesota. How healthy will the Packers receiving core? The Detroit Lions lost both coordinators.
Yes, that's going to be trouble.
Are you guys going to be good enough to get back to the NFC Championship game? I don't think so.
No.
I think you make a Super Bowl run, win or lose next year.
Yes,
I don't think it happens this year.
I agree.
I think you need the experience here. Shit, man. This is going to be a wild take.
Okay.
I'm going to go. My initial take is going to be the Bills and the Lions. However, I think my dark horse here will be the Bills and the Bucks. And my reason for the Bucks is not because they got so magically good. Their division is so bad.
Yeah.
You could find a way to eke out potentially a bye week, if not like at least second seed, so you run the whole gambit. And they've proven that they can cause some trouble for playoff teams, even though they've typically only won the one game.
Right.
All you need to be able to do is to get that one little crazy upset. That's a weird choice. There's nothing about the Bucks that screams that they're going to be crazy good or anything like that.
Right.
But if they can just stay the course, because I think the thing with the Eagles, people are gunning for them now.
Oh yeah.
And they also were the last team to get there. You lost a little bit on the O-line. I think they're going to be a force. I just don't think they're going to have the sauce to go all the way. They'll probably get upset by the Packers, and then maybe the Bucks finish it off and go to the Super Bowl. I don't know, but for some reason the Bucks are screaming at me. I don't know why. It's kind of crazy, but what do you think, man?
I think it is going to be the Packers. I think Jordan Love makes the jump. I think that team is ready to make the jump. I think the Lions are going to suffer from losing both of those coordinators, and I think Goff. You might have just hit the expiration date on Goff last year, and that game may have rattled him really deeply. So we'll see how he reacts. I can't discount the Chiefs, especially in a revenge year after they got their asses mollywopped in the Super Bowl. So will they come back? But I think that I wonder if the Travis
the only
distraction. The marriage.
I don't think that's going to be as big of a deal. I do have questions about what their offense ultimately looks like. Is Pacheco back to full Pacheco? Does Worthy get to the full thing? I know Sean is over here being like, oh, I love that y'all are doing this again. How much does Kelce still have in the tank and all that? What I'm really concerned about the Chiefs as far as going on said revenge tour, the Broncos look fucking good. And Sean Payton looks like the Sean Payton that brought a goddamn Super Bowl to New Orleans. Right. And Bo Nix is actually looking like he could do something. Yep. So you got to deal with them twice in the division, let alone a game maybe gets stolen from the Chargers. Like the Chargers aren't going to be great, but they could be good enough to upset at least one game. You could potentially just rattle the Chiefs that way, which is crazy.
I think it's going to be a battle in that division because I think the Raiders might sneak one off with Geno Smith and Pete Carroll. So I don't think a given that the Chiefs even come out of their division in the top spot right now.
They'll definitely make the playoffs, and I wouldn't put it past them to get back to the AFC title game, but I just think too many teams are finally ready, and the Chiefs have started to take steps back. They're getting a little bit older. If anything, having watched this Cowboys documentary, age, contracts, all sorts of shit start to happen. Because remember, Brady didn't go for like 20 years straight. It was like a stretch of shit at the beginning of his thing. They were still good, but whatever. Then another stretch of like wins kind of here. Like that's the only thing to keep in mind. So
yeah. Plus they shooting at Andy Reid apparently into his office, as you saw that story last week. I am Two Black Games. Says y'all tripping. Cracker Barrel has my Fridays on locked codfish fry. Oh, respect.
My fault. I understand that Cracker Barrel. You know what I'm saying? Out here crossing people up, man. Swollen up your ankles.
Get my codfish. Happy Cowboys fans. Happy Tuesday on the subject of documentaries. I highly recommend seasons 1 and 2 of America's Sweethearts on Netflix. What is that? I don't know what that is.
America's Sweetheart is about the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Oh,
very, apparently very good. I haven't seen it, but Kristen absolutely loves the show. Also, I told you Sean was going to be out here, but you've been saying this for 2 years. I get it.
Last year, Sean.
But Sean, you got to remember, you're correct. We were probably drumming up a little too much, but 2 years ago, when we started this, they ended up in the 4th seed, and everybody was like, dude, how did we get here? You started off by losing to the Lions to open the season, so it made sense to start that up. This year, you got back to the Super Bowl, but you puttered at times. We're now at a stage where, again, Travis Kelce is not the Travis Kelce of old. How much does he have left in the tank? Right. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And other teams have caught up to you. You still have to get – this is still Mahomes' league. Let's get it real clear real quick. This is still his league. But Josh Allen having just won an MVP, I still think it should have been Lamar Jackson, but both of them playing at an MVP level. Joe Burrow, if they finally get their fucking act together on defense, played at an MVP level, but the team just wasn't really ready to go and shit. Like you're acting like there isn't real competition in the AFC to upset the Chiefs.
I think I don't want to say it because I don't want to put that in the universe. But
what?
I don't know. I think Mahomes will go out with an injury at some point in the year.
Don't do that.
I'm not trying to put that out. I'm just saying I feel that. I like this Yavin saying if Stafford can stay healthy, maybe the Rams will go again. The Rams almost beat the Eagles in the snow in Philly. So that's a very good point. It's a possibility because he was looking damn good by the end of the year. So if he's got one magical year left in him, Stafford could carry the Rams to the bowl again. I could see it.
And like to that point, as good as Saquon is, and Saquon is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
He has been injury prone a large part of his career. So that was a fantastic year for him to do that. I need him to stay healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I need to see Jalen play like he did in the Super Bowl more often throughout the year. Because again, you also have a crazy assortment of competition to have to kind of potentially deal with. I think the NFC is significantly weaker than the AFC.
Yeah.
But you still have, like, you think the Commanders are going to sit there and let you take the division? I would not be surprised if the Commanders take the division. I still don't think you're going to make the run, but I would not be surprised if you take the division.
You know, I'd be just happy if we make the playoffs. I have no aspirations for anything more than that. And because I think people are going to be coming for us. I think they're going to try to hurt Jaden. And so, you know, getting Terry back is great, but we've still got some questions on defense and getting rid of Brian Robinson. I hope that doesn't come back.
To let Eckler run it. I was like, are you sure? Let alone seeing some of these practices with Debo. I said, oh, that's why the 49ers let him go.
I know. I saw Damian Woody this morning on First Take going, oh, I think the Commanders in the Super Bowl. And I'm like, shut the fuck up is what it's in my head. Like, shut up. We'll be lucky to make the playoffs. And that's it. Like, let's not go
What
crazy.
Y'all need to do is get the experience and then either go for a big name receiver to kind of balance all this out, or in the draft, considering you'll probably be high up, there's still some pretty damn good ass receivers all throughout the first round. Go get that dude that's the complement there. And then that's it. Like, obviously Scary Terry is going to bring you some stuff, but there's a reason why they were hesitant to re-sign because of how old he is.
He's getting into his 30s. Yes, agreed. Winston, do you have more time? We have like 4 questions left. You good?
4 questions. Go for it.
Fantastic 14. Hey, Tequila Spiller. Sometimes you can walk into a situation where you offend someone by saying the things you've said when you were young. I got called out for slut shaming because I called Ariel from Footloose a slut. Oops on me. I apologized. Yeah, it's healthy of you to apologize. Yeah. And Ariel is not a slut. She goes from one boyfriend to the next twice. That's it.
I never seen it, so I don't know.
Oh, all right. Yeah, she's not good. That's a good movie. Forget the remake. Mike McKenzie. Hey, John, did you see the trailer for Shakespeare in Love 2? Yes, Hamnet. I did. Do you think it's going to beat other more deserving movies for the Oscar this year? No, I don't think that movie's even going to be in consideration. And I think Chloe Zhao is a good director, but I think Eternals damaged her pretty badly. And I don't know. And I don't think that many people are going to be out here trying to see Jesse Buckley and Paul Mescal in a Hamlet, in a Shakespeare love story about William Shakespeare. I just don't see it happening. But I liked the trailer. I'm curious because I'm a Shakespeare guy, but I don't know that a lot of people will be, to be honest. So, I don't know if you saw it. Did you see it today, Winston?
No, I didn't see it, unfortunately.
Okay. Doug Developer says, NFL starts next week. Love some good NFL trolling. No one trolls each other better than the Eagles and the Cowboys. One of my faves is next week is the closest to choke a Prescott will ever be at a banner-raising presentation. Oof.
That's rough. I mean,
wow.
Look, man, you got to remember, I will give you credit, but that's just because you have a better coach and a better run organization. But you're not going to sit here and pretend like Dakota did not turn around and also go second team all pro and be second in MVP voting. So put some respect on Dak's name, but at the same time, as much as I hate Nick Sirianni, apparently he figured something out.
He did. As Sean Brennan will attest.
And you pay your players. You immediately paid people when they did their job instead of being like, well, we're just going to franchise tag him. Motherfucker, we almost lost Emmitt Smith. I didn't know that. I didn't know that we almost lost Emmitt Smith in his heyday because of Jerry's bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. Troy, too. It's crazy what goes on. I lived through all of that. It was amazing. It was insane, rather. Samuel says, thoughts on the Will Smith AI photo post controversy? I don't know anything about this.
Say that again?
The Will Smith AI photo post. There's apparently a controversy around it. Sorry, Samuel. Don't know anything about it.
AI photo?
Yeah.
AI to animate concert photos with nightmarish results.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks kind of crazy. from West Philly to West Swigay. It yeah, it looks weird, bro. Here, I'll screen share. Give me a second. This is definitely weird.
Yeah, but I mean, it's leave Will alone.
Why did he? Well, I think part of it is just because was this supposed to be him in Switzerland? Is that why it's West Swizzy?
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, I think what's happening is you can make it.
Oh, they're saying he's generating crowds that they weren't actually.
Yeah. He was making this stuff.
Oh, okay.
So that's the whole thing. There's this weird thing of Will trying to remain like get back into being relevant and stuff, and so it's coming off as inauthentic and kind of sad. Because I'm thinking about the song, like I like pretty girls, like that whole thing that was kind of weird. His freestyle was not great. It feels like a desperate attempt to remain relevant, I guess.
Rappers have the hardest time aging. They really do. It just doesn't work.
That's why you got to give Andre 3000 fucking credit. He goes, 100%. I didn't make a rap album because I was like, bro, what I got to rap about anymore?
Yeah.
Like,
Eminem said the same thing. What am I rapping about? Sitting in my nice ass house making millions. Yeah. Anon said saying Taylor is always the victim in her songs is just things people say who don't listen to her music. The last album literally has a song about her jacking off, imagining another dude while in a relationship. She talks about fucked shit she does too. Listen, I don't think it's fucked up to jack off to another person while you're in a relationship with somebody else. That happens all the time in relationships. It's a weird kind of thing. But that being said, you might be right. I haven't listened to Taylor in the last maybe 8 years, 10 years. Like I kind of tuned out after the Red phase. So maybe you're right. Maybe she writes lyrics now where she takes responsibility for some of the stuff.
I mean, that's the thing. Again, she's always been super raw and super real as far as that goes. I didn't know anything other than the songs that played on the radio and knowing that she wrote about a lot of breakups and stuff like that. And then I got educated on it, and I'm like, oh, she's actually writing some real shit out here. So,
there you go.
But yeah, that I don't know. I don't know if being like I've masturbated to someone that's not my partner. Like people watch porn.
Yes,
that's the only thing I would say is people occasionally watch porn. So
yeah, when I was in an unhappy, never mind. Anyway, almost got myself in trouble. Just Maximovich, concerts did happen, but the videos definitely look enhanced. Yeah, probably. But
they apparently they took the real photo and then put AI over it.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
that happens. It's going to happen more and more. Everybody's getting used to it. AI is. As Melania told us today, she's now the face of AI, which is so perfect considering she is basically a copy of a human being. All right, let's end it there. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here on Spill the Tequila. Winston A. Marshall, where can they find you and watch all the great content you got going on there on your channel?
You can find me at the Swaggy Blurred on YouTube, on Twitch. I did Blur Breakdown is back on Mondays. I did the one yesterday. If you want to go watch that, I talked about a number of different things, including some of the stuff we talked about here today.
Nice.
Thursday, we've got our monthly Blurs in the Hood. Jay and I will be back. So twitch.tv/Blurs in the Hood, youtube.com/Blurs in the Hood, Capes and Cows on Friday. And then just follow me on the socials, man, and I'll let you know when I'm doing new stuff. I also we're finally doing the Blazing Saddles watch along on Sunday. So
nice.
For more information on that same thing, take a look at my social media. I'll give you a breakdown on that.
There you go. As for me, just subscribe to the channel down below, the new John Rocha channel. Leave your comments as well. And you can follow me on all social media platforms at The Rocha Says. Thanks, guys. Much love to you. Don't forget, Hot Mike Geek Buddies coming up later on this week and other stuff as well. Might have a new episode of The Truth tomorrow night. But we will see you next week with another brand new episode here of Spill the Tequila. Peace until then.
Peace.